Ahoy, swabs! Captain Jeff the Pirate here, at your disservice. Welcome to another episode of Captain Jeff Reviews and Questions Adventure Time. Today's episode, James 2. Now, a while back I did an episode called James. So it'd be the same character. He'd be coming back for a sequel in this episode. And like the previous episode, he'd be voiced by Andy Merrill. If you recall, Andy be the voice of Brack from Space Ghost. Alright. Now let's get on with the review. We start off with the episode with Finn, Jake, and the princess looking for some kind of crying flower. And Finn still have his arm missing except for a flower on the end of a stump. So then here comes James, and he's all, got to save you from the loose gravel princess. He pushes her out of the way, but falls into the river, which is nearby, and then there'll be a waterfall. So he'd be like, no, remember me. So Finn and Jake are like, well, guess it'd be time to clone another one. And Princess be like, nay, this be like the 27th time he's been doing this. I can't keep condoning this reckless behavior. It's time for him to rest in peace. Finn, Jake, go pack up his stuff at his apartment. Yeah, so apparently Princess Bubblegum, you can only save her kinda for like 26 times before she gets sick of you and then wants you dead permanently. Anyway, so they go to James's apartment. They turn on the lights and open the door and find an entire room full of Jameses. And they'd be like, what be going on here? One of the Jameses comes forward and he'd be having all the 25 medals around his necklace. And he says, I got an idea. I was like, I got lonely, so I figured if I fake me death, the princess keeps cloning a new one and I get to hang out with a guy that gets me. Plus, I'd be getting this fancy metal every time. So Finn and Jake are like, ugh. And they're like, wait, please don't be telling the princess. And they're like, nah, well, she'll find out eventually. We're just gonna go sit this one out. So literally they do. They go outside the apartment and sit on a park bench right across the street from the building. Time passes and it shows the princess goes and she comes to the building. She goes inside. She's like, what's going on here? And suddenly all the Jameses are jumping out of windows and running out the front door and running and screaming. They're like, oh no, she found us. So now the princess knows the secret about James. So she decides, she's like, what do I do now? So she decides to call upon the banana guards. So she calls the banana guards together, and she says, all right, here be a picture of James. There'll be 25 of him running around. So she'd be explaining to the banana guards that it's a clone. There's 25 of them, they all look the same. And the banana guards, they're still as thick as usual. And they're like, they even choose a guard for who's leading that week. So, what happened to Root Beer Guy? Why hasn't he gotten this guard situation taken care of by now? Has Root Beer Guy fallen asleep on the job or what? Arrgh. Anyway, so while the banana guards are trying to figure out how the heck this works, Princess Bubblegum asks why Finn and Jake are just sitting around and watching. So they tell her to sit for 5 minutes and have a piece of like candy wall. So she's like, okay, maybe just a quick break. So then all of a sudden, one of the James shows up. And the banana guards are like, have you seen this guy? Hang on a second. So then 2 more James show up. Then 3. Then eventually, just by pure goofy coincidence, all 25 Jameses show up to look at the picture. So you got the blind chasing the blind, looking for the blind, trying to catch the blind. Aye. So then they're like, wait a minute. How many of there are you? There'd be 25. Are you brothers? No, I don't think so. So then they're like, so then the most ridiculous chase scene ever ensues. Banana guards be chasing after all the Jameses. Some Jameses decide to disguise themselves by going into a glove shop, coming out wearing gloves, so it completely fools the banana guards until the gloves fall off. So then the chase resumes. And at one point, the Jameses like construct this like mouse trap. Like from the game Mousetrap, they actually construct this giant elaborate thing to stop the banana guards, but it breaks and falls apart. So that didn't quite work. Now, before all this chasing started, we cut back to the desert where the original James died. He comes back out as some kind of giant oozing monster like you saw from one of the previous episodes. And he'd be leading the other ooze monsters towards the Candy Kingdom. Anyway, by this point, the banana guards have captured all the Jameses, And the princess has taken away all their medals, and all the Jameses be sad. And then suddenly, the zombie goo creatures start attacking the Candy Kingdom. So they have to get all the citizens inside, and then Finn finds out that if you touch them, they have acid, and they will actually eat you or destroy you. So all the banana guards, being as useless as they are, run away out of fear and self-preservation. So there be one of the monsters be approaching the princess, and it be the original James. And all the other Jameses are still pouting like, we are heroes, we deserve those medals. So then they see that the original James is about to attack the princess. So they all dogpile onto the James monster. So they all start to melt, and then they all reform into like a giant 25 James, multi-headed, multi-limbed creature. But that's the thing, the original James is now fused with them, and they all seem to be acting normal again. So it's now James times 25, or 26, I guess. Yeah, just as one, he'd be a giant candy now. So then the princess reawards all 25 medals to all the Jameses. And then she says, alright, I got a new mission for you. You need to go into the desert and stay there forever. And they're like, huh? Why? And Princess Bubblegum says, if you do this, I'll send ye a medal every day. So they're like, alright, we'll do that. And as they run off, they're chanting, medal, medal, medal. So then Princess Bubblegum would be like, I'm not gonna miss him. And thus ends James 2. I thought this was a pretty good episode, very funny. Nice little break from the typical way the show is going. And the best part was not only did it call back to an earlier episode, but it had the same voice actor who was that character from the previous episode. So they kept the continuality of it. I liked it. It was funny. And the only question I got is Princess Bubblegum actually going to keep her word? And I guess the other question would be, how is she going to get all those medals out there? What's going to happen? I mean, what, they're going to cover his entire body with medals? Or is he going to make a medal house? I don't know. It'd be goofy. It'd be funny. It'd be a good episode. So, I'd be giving James 2 thumbs up. Yeah, this would be a good episode. So be sure to check it out. Sorry if I sound a little funny today. As you've heard, test subject 1337, or someone brought the cold to the office, so it'd be spreading around. So I'd be getting a wee bit of it myself. So until next time, this be Captain Jeff the Pirate saying thank you for watching, and until next time, arr. Have a nice day.